In the annals of true crime, few stories are as bizarre and surreal as that of Cocaine Bear. The name alone is enough to pique one's interest, but the tale of this unfortunate animal is as wild as it is tragic. The story of Cocaine Bear begins in the early 1980s in the rural backwoods of Georgia. It is a story that involves drugs, smuggling, and a very unlucky black bear. It was the summer of 1985, and the world was a very different place. It was a time of political upheaval, social change, and cultural transformation. The world was grappling with a range of complex issues, from the threat of nuclear war to the growing influence of technology in our daily lives. In the summer of 1985, something else happened. A black bear was found dead in the Chattahoochee National Forest in Georgia. This young adult male, estimated to be around 175 pounds, had ingested over 70 pounds of cocaine that had been dropped from a smuggler's airplane. This strange and tragic story became known as the Cocaine Bear, capturing the imaginations of people around the world. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get ready for a wild ride. This is Cocaine Bear, the true story, a documentary that will have you laughing, gasping, and shaking your head in disbelief. The Cocaine Bear incident occurred in the Chattahoochee National Forest, a vast wilderness area in northern Georgia. The forest covers over 750,000 acres and is home to diverse wildlife, including black bears, deer, and coyotes. The history of the Chattahoochee National Forest dates back centuries, when it was home to various Native American tribes. The Cherokee people, in particular, had a long history in the region and lived there for thousands of years before being forcibly removed by the US government in the 1830s. In the following decades, the forest became a popular destination for hunters and loggers who began exploiting its natural resources. However, as concerns grew about the impact of these activities on the environment, efforts were made to protect the forest and its wildlife. In 1936, the Chattahoochee National Forest was established as a federally protected area, and efforts were made to restore its natural habitats and preserve its wildlife. Today, the forest is a popular destination for hiking, camping, and other outdoor activities. It remains an important symbol of the natural beauty and biodiversity of the southern United States. During the 1980s, there were reports of drug trafficking and other illegal activities in and around the Chattahoochee National Forest for many years leading up to the Cocaine Bear incident. The forest is close to major highways and different transportation routes, making it a desirable location for drug smugglers and other criminal organizations. In particular, the area has been known to be a hotspot for producing and distributing methamphetamine, a highly addictive and dangerous drug. According to a report by the Appalachian Regional Commission, methamphetamine production and use have exploded in the southern Appalachians, and the Chattahoochee National Forest has become a hotspot for the drug trade. The production and distribution of drugs in the area have been linked to various criminal organizations, including biker gangs and other organized crime syndicates. In recent years, law enforcement agencies have increased their efforts to combat drug trafficking and other illegal activities in the area, but the problem persists. The Cocaine Bear incident was a particularly unusual and noteworthy event, but it was not the first time that illegal drugs had been discovered in the forest. In fact, it is likely that there are many other instances of drug smuggling and other illicit activities that go undetected. But before the bear became entangled in the world of drug smuggling, it was just a wild animal living in its natural habitat. Black bears are the most common bear species found in North America and can be found in forests, mountains, and swamps throughout the continent. These animals are typically solitary creatures but will gather in groups during feeding times. Black bears are incredibly adaptable and can survive in a variety of environments. They are omnivores, meaning they will eat both plant and animal matter. In the wild, black bears will forage for berries, nuts, and insects and hunt small prey such as rabbits and rodents. The black bear is a fascinating and complex animal known for its intelligence and resourcefulness. These animals have an incredible sense of smell, which they use to find food and navigate their surroundings. They are also skilled climbers and swimmers, able to traverse rugged terrain easily. Black bears are omnivorous, meaning they eat plant and animal matter. Their diet can vary depending on their habitat and the season, but it typically includes berries, nuts, insects, and small mammals. They are also known to raid trash cans and other human food sources, which can lead to conflicts with humans. Black bears are generally shy and solitary animals and are not typically aggressive toward humans. However, they can become habituated to human food and become more aggressive as a result. In rare cases, black bears have been known to attack humans, but such incidents are usually the result of the bear feeling threatened or cornered. Despite their relatively small size, compared to other bear species like grizzlies, black bears are powerful animals and are capable of running up to 30 miles per hour and climbing trees with ease. They are also excellent swimmers and have been known to swim long distances for food or mates. Black bears are an essential part of the ecosystem and play a key role in maintaining the balance of the natural world. They help spread seeds and nutrients throughout the forest, and they can help control populations of small mammals and insects. However, human activities such as habitat destruction and hunting have put black bear populations at risk in some areas, and conservation efforts are needed to protect these animals and their habitats for future generations. Unfortunately, the cocaine bear's story does not end with its impressive natural abilities. Ingesting large amounts of cocaine can have a powerful and potentially deadly impact on an animal's nervous system. When the bear ate the cocaine that had been dropped from the airplane, its heart rate and body temperature skyrocketed, causing it to suffer a heart attack and die shortly after. The discovery of the cocaine bear's body in the Chattahoochee National Forest in 1985 sent shockwaves through the local community and the wider world. As news of the bear's death spread, law enforcement officials began investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident. The first person to report the discovery of the cocaine bear was a young hiker named Kirk Wallace. Wallace was hiking in the Chattahoochee National Forest in northern Georgia on the morning of April 13, 1985, when he stumbled upon the unusual sight of a dead black bear lying by the side of the road. At first, Wallace thought that the bear had been hit by a car, but as he approached the animal, he noticed several unusual signs. The bear's nose was covered in white powder, and several bags of what appeared to be drugs were scattered around the animal's body. Wallace immediately contacted local authorities to report his discovery, and the police were soon on the scene to investigate. It quickly became apparent that the bear had died from a drug overdose after ingesting a large amount of cocaine. The discovery of the cocaine bear was a shocking and unusual event, and it quickly captured the attention of local media and law enforcement agencies. Police launched an investigation into the origins of the drugs and their connection to the local drug trade, and the story soon became a national news sensation. In an article by The Guardian, Wallace is described as being shocked and bewildered by the discovery of the cocaine bear. He reportedly described the experience as one of the craziest things he had ever seen. As police examined the bear's body, officials quickly realized that something was amiss. According to one official, it was obvious that this bear had been affected by something out of the ordinary. After conducting a necropsy on the bear's body, officials discovered a shocking amount of cocaine in its system. According to one report, the bear had ingested over 70 pounds of the drug, causing its heart rate and body temperature to skyrocket and ultimately leading to death. As news of the cocaine bear's death spread, law enforcement officials began investigating the incident. A report in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution states, Police were searching for the drug smugglers who dropped the cocaine from an airplane. Aircraft drops of illegal drugs were common during the 1980s, particularly in the southern United States. Smugglers would often use small planes to transport drugs like cocaine and marijuana across the border from Mexico, and then drop the drugs from the air in remote locations where their accomplices on the ground could retrieve them. The Cocaine Bear incident was not the first time drugs were dropped from the air in the Chattahoochee National Forest. There have been several other incidents in the region where large quantities of drugs were discovered after being dropped from planes. For example, in 1983, a group of hunters stumbled upon a cache of more than 2,000 pounds of marijuana that had been dropped from an airplane in the Chattahoochee National Forest. The drugs were reportedly worth millions of dollars, and the discovery was one of the largest drug busts in the history of the state of Georgia. In another incident, which took place in 1984, authorities intercepted a small plane carrying over 2 pounds of cocaine that was en route to a drop point in the Chattahoochee National Forest. The pilot was arrested and sentenced to 10 years in prison for drug trafficking. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, also known as the GBI, led the investigation with assistance from other law enforcement agencies. According to a spokesperson for the GBI, "We're trying to find out how this cocaine got here and who put it here." Over the course of the investigation, police received several leads and tips about the identity of the drug smugglers responsible for the cocaine dropped in the forest. However, the investigation ultimately hit a dead end, and no arrests were made in connection with the incident. Despite the lack of arrests, the Cocaine Bear incident profoundly impacted law enforcement officials in the area. According to one officer, "This was a wake-up call for us. We realized that drug smuggling was a serious issue in this area, and we needed to do more to combat it." In the years since the incident, the Cocaine Bear has become a symbol of the dangers and impact of the drug trade on wildlife and the environment. The story of the Cocaine Bear has captured people's imaginations worldwide, and over the years it has become the subject of various legends and myths. One such myth is that the bear went on a killing rampage after ingesting the cocaine, attacking and mauling anything in its path. However, experts say that this is not true. While it is possible that the bear's behavior was affected by the cocaine, there is no evidence to suggest that it went on a violent rampage. In fact, witnesses who saw the bear before its death described it as confused and disoriented, not aggressive or violent. Despite this, the myth of the killer cocaine bear persisted, and it became a popular subject in books, songs, and movies. One such film, Cocaine Bear, was released in 2023. The film is based on the true story of the Cocaine Bear, but it takes some creative liberties with the plot. According to the film's director, Elizabeth Banks, the movie tells the story of a woman who stumbles across the cocaine bear's body and takes the cocaine for herself. The film is described as a dark comedy, and Banks says that she was drawn to the story because of its absurdity and surrealism. Some may wonder, why is cocaine bad for bears? Cocaine, like many drugs, can have serious and potentially deadly effects on animals, including bears. While bears are known for their strength and resilience, they are not immune to the harmful effects of drugs like cocaine. One of the main reasons why cocaine is bad for bears is because it is a powerful stimulant that can cause a range of physical and psychological effects. When bears ingest cocaine, it can cause their heart rate and blood pressure to increase, which can put a significant strain on their cardiovascular system. This can lead to various health problems, including heart attack, stroke, and organ failure. Cocaine can also have several psychological effects on bears, including agitation, confusion, and aggression. This can make them more dangerous to humans and other animals, and cause them to engage in reckless or self-destructive behavior. In addition to the direct effects of cocaine on bears, the drug can also impact their environment and ecosystem. When drug smugglers use the forest to transport drugs, they can disrupt the natural habitat of bears and other animals and cause long-term environmental damage. The use of chemicals and pesticides associated with drug cultivation and production can also have a negative impact on the health of bears and other wildlife. Overall, the use of drugs like cocaine is harmful to bears and other animals, and can have severe and far-reaching consequences for the environment and ecosystem. By working to reduce drug trafficking and consumption, and by promoting greater awareness of the dangers of drug use, we can help to protect these animals and ensure a healthier, more sustainable future for all. While the story of Cocaine Bear is undoubtedly the most famous example of an animal ingesting drugs, it is not the only one. Over the years, there have been many other cases of animals being exposed to drugs with often tragic consequences. One of the most well-known cases involves a group of monkeys used in a research study in the 1960s. The monkeys were given large doses of LSD, a powerful hallucinogenic drug, to study the drug's effects on their behavior. The experiment quickly went awry, and the monkeys began to exhibit violent and erratic behavior. Some of the monkeys died as a result of the drug exposure, while others suffered from long-term psychological damage. In another case, a group of elephants in southern India became addicted to alcohol after raiding a local village's supply of homemade liquor. The elephants would regularly sneak into the village at night and drink from the fermenting vats of alcohol. Over time, the elephants became increasingly aggressive and destructive, causing significant damage to the village's crops and property. Efforts were made to help the elephants overcome their addiction, but the problem persisted for years. In yet another case, a pet cat in the UK became addicted to heroin after licking the residue off of its owner's drug paraphernalia. The cat, Tinker, began to exhibit withdrawal symptoms when her owner was in jail and was eventually taken in by an animal welfare organization. After receiving treatment for her addiction, Tinker fully recovered and was eventually adopted by a loving family. Another story involves a group of dogs in a village in Russia who were exposed to drugs in a similarly tragic incident. In this case, drug traffickers had hidden drugs in the forest near the village, and the dogs discovered them and began eating them. The dogs became violently ill, and several died due to drug exposure. It is believed that the drug traffickers targeted the dogs to dispose of their drugs without attracting attention. In another case, a group of horses in Florida were exposed to a synthetic drug called flakka, which is known for causing extreme paranoia and agitation in humans. The horses, which were part of a therapeutic riding program, began exhibiting erratic behavior and becoming increasingly difficult to handle. It was eventually discovered that the horses had been exposed to flakka, which had been dumped in the nearby woods. Several of the horses had to be put down due to the drug exposure. Perhaps one of the most disturbing cases of animal drug exposure involves a group of birds in Brazil who became addicted to crack cocaine. In this case, drug dealers in a Rio de Janeiro neighborhood had trained the birds to collect and transport small packets of crack cocaine. The dealers reportedly highly prized the birds, who used them to evade police detection. Over time, the birds became addicted to the drug themselves and began exhibiting bizarre and erratic behavior. Many of the birds died as a result of their addiction. One such incident occurred in the UK in 2018, when a pet dog named Snoop ingested a large amount of cocaine. The dog's owner, a rapper named Calvin Cordoza Broadus Jr., better known as Snoop Dogg, had left the dog in the care of a friend while he was out of town. The friend reportedly had a cocaine habit and left the drug lying around the house. Snoop ingested the cocaine and became severely ill, but recovered after receiving medical treatment. In another case, a group of dairy cows in Western Australia became exposed to a type of fungus that produces a psychoactive compound similar to LSD. The cows began to exhibit bizarre and unpredictable behavior, and it was eventually discovered that they had been ingesting the fungus through the grass they were eating. The incident raised concerns about the potential impact of psychedelic drugs on livestock and the safety of consuming dairy products from cows exposed to these substances. Another disturbing example of animal drug exposure occurred in Colombia in 2016, when a group of cats were found with their legs tied together and covered in a white powder. The cats were believed to have been used as drug mules, with traffickers filling their stomachs with packets of cocaine and sending them across the border. The cats were discovered by authorities and taken to a veterinary clinic, where they were treated for the effects of the drug exposure. These stories serve as a disturbing reminder of the dangers of drug exposure to animals and the often tragic consequences that can result. Animals are often used to transport and conceal drugs, and they can unwittingly become exposed to dangerous substances in the process. This highlights the need for greater awareness and education about the dangers of drug use and the need to take steps to prevent drug trafficking and smuggling. By working together to address these issues, we can help to prevent further tragedies and promote a safer, healthier future for all. The story of the cocaine bear has captured the public's imagination, in part because of the tragedy and absurdity of the situation. However, the story also taps into a broader cultural phenomenon that has emerged recently: the idea of animal revenge. In movies, books, and other forms of popular culture, revenge plots involving animals have become increasingly popular. One notable example is the John Wick film franchise, which centers around a man seeking revenge after his dog is killed. Many viewers see the plot as justified because of the strong emotional connection people often have with animals. But why are these stories so compelling to people? For many, it may be a sense of justice being served in a world where animals often suffer at the hands of humans. Animal welfare has become an increasingly important issue in recent years, and many people feel a strong sense of responsibility to stand up for and protect these creatures. But there is also a sense of humor and absurdity to these stories. The idea of a bear ingesting cocaine and meeting an untimely end is tragic. Still, there is also a surreal and almost comical aspect to the story that has captured people's imaginations. Animal revenge stories are also a way to explore the complex relationship between humans and animals. We share the world with a wide variety of creatures, and our actions can profoundly impact their lives. When animals are harmed, it can be seen as a reflection of our own moral failings, and the idea of animal revenge can be a way to explore these deeper issues. The cocaine bear's story, while tragic, has become a popular example of animal revenge in popular culture. The idea of a bear ingesting cocaine and meeting an untimely end is both tragic and absurd, and it has captured people's imaginations in a way that speaks to our fascination with animals and our desire for justice. Those who stand up for animal revenge are often animal rights activists and advocates who believe that animals deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. They argue that animals are sentient beings who experience emotions and pain, and that humans have a moral responsibility to protect them from harm. However, not everyone believes in the idea of animal revenge. Some argue that it anthropomorphizes animals and ascribes human emotions and motivations to them. They argue that animals cannot seek revenge in the same way humans are, and that the idea is more fiction than reality. Regardless of one's opinion on the subject, animal revenge speaks to a broader cultural phenomenon surrounding our relationship with animals. It reflects our emotional connection to these creatures and our desire for justice when they are harmed. For many animal rights activists and advocates, the idea of animal revenge is a powerful way to draw attention to the issue of animal cruelty and advocate for change. After the cocaine bear's death and subsequent investigation, the bear's body was sent to a taxidermist for preservation. The decision to have the bear stuffed and put on display was not without controversy, but it ultimately led to the creation of one of the world's most unique and bizarre tourist attractions. The taxidermy was done by a local taxidermist named Roy Bryant. According to reports, Bryant initially hesitated to take on the project, given the unusual circumstances surrounding the bear's death. However, he ultimately agreed to do the work, and he spent over a year preserving the bear's body and creating a lifelike display. The finished product was a sight to behold. The cocaine bear was posed in a standing position, with its head turned and mouth slightly open. It was covered in thick, soft fur, and its claws and teeth were perfectly preserved. The display was eerie and fascinating, quickly becoming a popular tourist attraction. The cocaine bear was first put on display at a local novelty store called the Lawman's Safety Supply in Helen, Georgia. The store's owner, Andrew Thornton, saw the bear as a way to attract tourists and promote his business. According to Thornton, "I thought it was a great conversation starter. People would come in, see the bear, and want to know more about it." Over time, the cocaine bear became a popular attraction in its own right. People from all over the world came to see the bear and take pictures with it. In 1997, the bear was moved to a museum called the Curiosity Museum in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where it continued to draw large crowds. Today, the cocaine bear is still on display at the museum in Gatlinburg. While the number of visitors is unknown, the museum reports that it remains one of their most popular attractions. One museum employee said, "People come from all over to see the bear. It's a really unique piece, and it tells a fascinating story." While the cocaine bear's taxidermy may have attracted criticism from animal rights activists, the museum and the display have garnered some positive attention for bringing awareness to the dangers of the drug trade. Some visitors see the display as a reminder of the tragic consequences of the illegal drug trade on both human and animal lives. Many people have expressed mixed feelings about the display, with some considering it to be a gruesome and unsettling reminder of the tragic circumstances surrounding the bear's death. In contrast, others see it as a unique and fascinating historical artifact. Regardless of the controversy surrounding the display, the museum continues to draw visitors worldwide who come to see the cocaine bear and learn about its story. The story of the cocaine bear has also inspired a range of artwork, literature, and other creative endeavors, including a graphic novel and even a line of merchandise featuring the bear's likeness. Some see the cocaine bear as a symbol of the absurdity and surrealism of the drug trade, while others view it as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of nature. The decision to preserve the cocaine bear's body and put it on display may have been controversial, but it has ultimately created a lasting legacy for the bear and its story. Today, the cocaine bear serves as a reminder of the dangers and impact of the drug trade on wildlife and the environment. It continues to intrigue and fascinate people worldwide. While we may never know how Cocaine Bear feels about the incident, we asked ChatGPT artificial intelligence to write the public a letter directly from above, where Cocaine Bear currently resides. "Hello, my name is Cocaine Bear, and I'm here to give you an update on my story. As you may know, I met an untimely end after ingesting a large amount of cocaine that was left in the forest where I lived. It was a tragic and unnecessary end, and it's one that I wouldn't wish on any animal. But now, many years later, I am pleased to say that my story has helped raise awareness of the dangers of the drug trade and the impact that it can have on wildlife and the environment. My taxidermy is now on display in a museum where people can come and learn about my story and the lessons that can be learned from it. If I could give you one message, it would be this: please take care of the environment. Humans have a profound impact on the natural world, and it's up to all of us to do our part to protect it. Whether it's not littering, reducing our carbon footprint, or taking steps to conserve resources, there are many things that we can do to make a positive impact. And please, for the sake of all animals and the environment, let's not leave cocaine or other drugs in the woods. It's not only dangerous for animals like me, but it also poses a risk to humans and can harm the ecosystem's delicate balance. I may be a stuffed bear now, but my story reminds me of the importance of respecting and protecting the natural world. Please take my story to heart, and let's all work together to create a better, safer, and more sustainable world for all creatures, great and small. Thank you for listening and take care. Sincerely, Cocaine Bear.